the nice little introduction. I'm just ready to get started, so can I get a countdown? 3, 2, 1, go! So welcome everyone. I'll be running New Super Mario Bros. Wii for you today. We're gonna start off with the first level, and the first level is always in Mario games. It's not that impressive, but in this level we'll be grabbing the most important power-up in our run, which is gonna be the propeller suit. With the propeller suit, you can gain a lot of upwards momentum, which they don't really intend you to do in certain levels, so you can skip big parts of them. But for now, since you get the propeller suit in this level, there are some extra stuff up there, but we don't need any of it. It's mostly coins. So here we are, right at the end of the first level. I'll be doing the any percent category, which is only gonna be beating Bowser as quickly as possible. And to do that, we'll try to use as many cannons as possible. Like there's one cannon here in World 1, which will take us to World 5. And in World 5, there's a cannon that takes us to World 8. And Bowser is in World 8, so we'll quickly go to those levels to unlock them. You also see me sliding down a lot of those slopes. If you crouch on them and you actually slide down, it's a little bit faster than actually just running. It gains a little bit of time, and it's a speed run, so why not? A little bit. I got stuck there on a little block, but we'll be good. There are also some of these platforms which actually move with motion controls, which can be a little bit annoying. I usually just tend to let them go down so you can slide down them again to get a little bit of extra speed. Also, we just grabbed a power star just because some of the Piranha Plants there are really annoying. If you don't actually grab a power star, you have to wait for them because we really want to keep our propeller suit. So that's already the second level. Up next is the third level of World 1, which will actually take us to the secret exit of this world, which takes us to the cannon. And in this level, you're supposed to grab Yoshi, which is really a great character, but unfortunately we won't be seeing him this run. At the first here, we're gonna do a jump over the Hammer Bro. Oh, I lost my propeller suit. That's really bad. Sometimes that Hammer Bro jumps up really soon, and sometimes he jumps up, and technically you can avoid it, but I messed up my jump a little bit. So unfortunately, I have to grab a propeller suit in a later level, which will be a little bit slower, but it shouldn't matter that much. I do need Yoshi though to get to the secret exits. I forgot about that. Normally I would use my propeller suits. So I guess we do see Yoshi in the speed run. Woo! Because we need... Oh, not high enough. Get back. So grabbing Yoshi is actually really slow. With the propeller suit you can just immediately fly up there. It will make the next few levels a little bit more difficult, but hopefully it won't matter that much. So this is already the end of World 1. Well, unless you count the cannon as well. So we're only a few minutes in, and not the greatest start with losing the propeller suit, but it will make it a little bit more exciting, I guess. And here a little toad will come up to us and saying that some bad news appeared at the castle, and apparently Bowser Jr. dropped off a letter that they're stealing toads and putting them in question mark blocks, which I don't know what the reason for that is. Apparently Bowser really doesn't like the toads. Even like you would think that he should be targeting Mario instead of the toads, but the toads apparently have some very important reason in the game as well, which can save the princess. Anyway, this is the World 5 cannons. We're just gonna fly off in the distance, and this is probably one of the longest cutscenes coming up in this speedrun. We'll get a little cutscene of a Bowser ship flying through here. Normally, when you complete each world, one of the Kemi Koopas will run off again in that ship, and so every time you see that ship flying off again. So in this level we'll be grabbing another power star, And this time it's just not in a block, but it's in a more sort of in a random block, so to say it. Those blocks cycle through 4 different items, which is... Oh, I messed up the timing. There is a setup to actually get that power star when you just run up to it, but I was a little bit slow on it, so I actually got the 1-up instead of the star, so I just have to avoid the piranhas there. Then we're gonna use these vines to avoid the piranha plants, and a really neat trick little here is a crouch jump. If you wouldn't crouch during that jump, you actually hit the ceiling and lose a lot of your momentum. Also a little, we take damage here on purpose, so we're small enough to actually jump back on the platform. Oh! Ah! I've lost a little bit too much momentum there on the jump, so unfortunately I couldn't make it anymore. So we're gonna do the level again. Hopefully we can get the star this time, which will be probably a little bit more difficult since we're small now instead of the regular size. Yeah, it's the 1-up again. We don't need it. But that means though I have... Come on. Maybe I should have grabbed the 1-up. Getting a game over in this game isn't that too bad anyway. Like, they'll just say like, oh no, you have 0 lives. Have 5 extra. And then you just get a little counter which says, you use 1 continue. But, whatever. There we go. That's the star. That will make this part way easier. And you can just run through everything. So now we're just gonna do this trick again. Luckily I'm already small, so I don't have to take a little bit of damage. Because every time you get damaged, oh, not again! Ah! That paratrooper is in a really annoying spot when you run up to it, so you actually have to hold back a lot, but it's not holding it back completely, and I'm making slight mistakes on that. Okay, come on. Hopefully we can get the star again. There we go. So avoid the spikes, jump over the wheel, and I'll play it really safe this time on the vine. So I just... And there we go. Most difficult jump in the level. So there we go, finally through 5-1, and right now... and before we can head off to the next level, we actually have to deal with the Piranha Plant here. Well, unless... I'm not sure, like every time you die in a level or complete a level, these vines change. But since I died 3 times, I think the cycle will still be exactly the same as before. Like, those vines can actually block your path to the actual level. And normally when you don't die at all in any of the levels, the pattern is really good to make it to the correct levels. And also to beat those overrolled enemies, you have to collect all the toad balls in those levels. And he'll actually give you some mushrooms right at the end of the run, at the level. So next up are 2 different levels you can do, either the upwards level or the bottom level. Normally I would go for the upper level, but since we don't have the propeller suit, we have to go for this one. It's a little bit more difficult, but there is a backup propeller suit though, which is going to be really useful. So I'm gonna wait for this one and go into this pipe. And there's another one of these random blocks, which if you just run up to it immediately, you should get the propeller suit. So Now it's very important to not lose the propeller suit anymore, so just play it a little bit safe and just fly over him instead of jumping on him and maybe hitting him instead. Oh. I feel like there's a bug in my hair. A wisp. Oh, whoops. Usually I don't have to do the backup, so I'm not really used to this. But just gonna wait underneath here for him to pass. And then we should jump over him. There.
I am just butting into the stream here for a little
There we go,
bit.
that was 5-3, and now we're actually going to go to a level where the propeller suit is going to be really useful. The level is really vertical, so it's useful to have the propeller suit at this spot, and it will actually make us be able to get a certain cycle, which you would normally not be able to get. So we're gonna have to avoid these dry bones. And we'll wait a little bit, just not to get hit. Just gonna fly up here, skipping a lot of the level which you would normally have to wait with going a lot back and forth. This is the first very big reason why it's important to have a propeller suit during this run. And we should be completely fine on the cycle, because we have to wait for it to go to the left here anyway. Technically a faster cycle is possible, but that one is really difficult and I really can't do it. I've tried doing it, but it's crazy how intense the movement is for that. So now we're actually gonna do a little mini boss fight, and you have, like with most enemies in boss fights in Mario, you actually have to hit him 3 times. Oh, let's be a little bit more careful here. You just have to jump on his head 3 times and then he'll go down. Well, there we go. That's one of the only mini bosses we see. We only get to see 2 in this run, one really close to the end of the run. And now we're gonna go to probably the most difficult skip in this run, which is gonna be the 5-4 skip, which we also need a propeller suit for. And the unfortunate thing is once I only make one mistake, I die and I can't get another propeller suit. So if that happens, we actually have to do the level regularly. I hope that's doable.
Wonderful. Just butting into the stream for realsies this time to announce that we are changing Pokemon Puzzle League into Pokemon Puzzle Challenge, which is a very similar run. It's going to be the same person, it's going to be the same estimate. It's just going to be run on a Game Boy instead of on an N64. We do have some donations, so if we do have some time for those, I would like to read them.
I tried doing the skip there, but unfortunately I died there, so now we have to do the old casual strat, which is going to be a really slow level, so it would be the perfect time for some donations.
Alright, excellent. We got in 10 euros from an anonymous donor, 3 from Indy who just says straight up BSG hype, and we have 10 euros from the Mother Brain, who wrote a small novel. He says, here is a small donation to start off with. I am super hyped to join you guys tomorrow in an all week of an amazing showcase of amazing runners with amazing games. It looks like I'll need to bring a pillow to avoid a wooden butt cheek. Oh pillow, what would, pun intended, I do without you. Anyway, I put this money towards Ninja Gaiden all pickups and Kill the Animals. Thank you so much for your generous donations, guys.
Right, so since we don't have the propeller suit for this, we have to do the regular strat and just have to wait around here on this platform a little bit, killing the enemies, because once there are 5 or more items on the platform, they actually stop moving. it stops moving like this, and Mario is spinning on top of it. And there are multiple power-ups in this level, either the Ice Flower or the Fire Flower. But with the Fire Flower, when you kill an enemy with it, with the Fire Flower it actually drops a coin, which it also counts for one of the items on the boat. So we try to keep using the... Oh, whoops. Oh well, we can do it without power-up as well. A lot of bombs will drop down here, which can be thrown at the Piranha Plants. I'm actually gonna wait a little bit here because there's one more power-up in here. Come on. Oh. We gotta be really careful. Should be good though. And there's the end. We made it through. But that's indeed a very slow boat ride. So now that we're through through level 5-4, we can actually make it to the ghost house here. And in the ghost house is going to be the secret exit towards the cannon. And the level starts off with a little bit of a maze, but luckily we know where the exit is, so we don't have to search for that long. And even though we died once, the vines are still not in our path to the ghost house. Otherwise, I would have gone into the, would have needed to go into the level again and actually die immediately, just so the vines would go back, so I could access the ghost house. So we're gonna run up here, avoid some gaps, fall on this one, through the wall, and there we go. That's the exit we need to have. We aren't there yet though. There's first this little part with a lot of darkness in them, but you can turn on some lights to actually help you with the platforms. Actually gonna play it a little bit safe here because these platforms can be a bit scary. Because I'm not exactly sure where that right platform is gonna be. I'll just wait for that one to go high enough.
We got in a €5 donation from RDV vs. the World, who says, "Hey Frosty, don't die on the final jump again, please. You got this."
Yeah, that was a fun thing in my stream 2 days ago. Like, I was actually on PB pace on the final Bowser level. I was right at the end, but then I missed the final jump and didn't get a PB. So hopefully that won't happen this time. Like, I doubt that this will be a PB since we didn't get the 5-4 skip, but I'll try not to miss the final jump this time. So this is the second cannon we'll be using, going all the way to World 8, and then that's already the final world. We're almost there, right? World 8 still got a little bit of some long levels in them. The Bowser level is most of the levels are pretty long. Like, there's only like 1 or 2 really fast ones. And in this next level is actually a place where RNG starts playing a little bit of a role, because in these levels meteorites will start falling from the sky, which and those are completely random where they're gonna fall, so I'm actually gonna grab a mushroom just for safety. And hopefully the meteorites aren't dead. Well, technically they're not meteorites, they're rocks from the volcano. So we have to... this level has a lot of these lava spires, which you can jump over some of them, but definitely not all of them. Like that one, I didn't get the triple jump off, so I couldn't jump over it. So I had to wait there a little bit. Also for this one, we'll just play it safe. You can get over with a triple jump, but it's really precise, and I'm not gonna risk that. I'm gonna grab an extra power up over here. And then I'll grab one more, just so we can actually damage boost through some of these lava spires. Because otherwise we would have to wait a very long time. So we'll just wait for this one. And then we can damage boost through the final one. And then we can go into this pipe. Technically, you could have gone further to the right, but there's only a star coin there, and the star coins are completely optional. They only unlock some hint videos for you to get some extra tips on how to beat certain levels. But we know how to beat these levels. At least that's what I thought until I started dying on 5-1 3 times. Maybe I should have gone back and actually watched the video on it. So up next is A2. A2 we're gonna go underground again. It starts off with, again, the same little bit of RNG with some meteorites falling from the sky. Like this can be a very tricky spot. Sometimes a meteorite just falls down there and you just get hit out of nowhere. And so extra power up. No. And that's why we grab an extra power up. Your jumps actually get slowed down a bit when you're actually on these backwards moving wheels, and sometimes that can mess with your momentum, so you suddenly go way slower than you expected to go. So some of these jumps I just play a little bit more safe than I would usually do. Also, there's a hidden star in this one, and which will make the next part really easy. And instead of going through the level normally, there's a secret passage over here, which will take us to, not to a cannon this time, but just to a different path towards the final Bowser Castle. And it's way shorter than the regular path. I think you skip about 4 levels doing this. Like, now we only have to do 1 extra level to get to the Bowser Castle, even though it's a slightly longer one. It's still faster than do like 4 levels. Also, when wheels are turning forwards, they can give you a lot of momentum forward instead of the backwards momentum when they are spinning backwards. So those jumps in the end are just really fast. So instead of going right there, we're going through the lava, over the stepping blocks to probably one of the... As a casual player, it's probably one of the more difficult levels because the star coins are in pretty difficult locations, but if you don't go for them, it's not that difficult. Especially since most of it is an auto-scroller, because we're gonna be riding the roller coaster of doom with these skeleton snakes. And it's not a very safe roller coaster. Like, I'm not supposed... Who was supposed to ride this? This is the most unsafe roller coaster I've ever seen. Don't worry, there are new roller coasters. There's nothing too much to do in this level. I usually try to grab as many coins as possible, but you know, sometimes that kills me. Sometimes I just try to be really excited about the roller coaster, but then I accidentally shake my Wiimote and I spin off the platform. So normally I would like to put like my hands up in the air like you would do in a roller coaster, like wee. But you know, since I died while doing that because I was doing a spin jump, I won't do it anymore. So some of these parts are gonna become... That part it's a really easy part because you were supposed to jump through the red ring and collect all the red coins that are on the roller coaster, but it only gives us an extra power-up, which we don't really need in this level, because we'll be grabbing a different power-up in the next level, because our good friend the propeller suit is coming back. Hopefully we can keep it a little bit longer this time than the previous one. Now it's double roller coaster. So with now beating the roller coaster level, we can go all the way through not the final level, but the one before it. And it will be an airship level. In the airship levels, there's there will be a lot of cannons which will be shooting cannonballs at us, and it can be start a little bit annoying, but who knows, maybe the cannons are just not gonna hit me, because I might know where they are and where they're gonna shoot. This level also had a lot of these spinning wheels where you actually have to shake the... Oh, whoops. Anyway, we'll need to grab an extra power up then, because normally there would be a propeller suit in that crate if he would be big, but no, it's in this one, I think. Wait, it's a little bit further. Never mind. No. Ah. I keep getting hit right before I get the power up. And now, before we can enter this cannon, this pipe, we actually have to wait until it stops spinning. I mean, until the green one gets back on top. And you can never make the cycle. It's just always just too late when you arrive to actually get in there. But I got hit a little bit too often, so unfortunately we can't use the propeller suit to skip this little segment over here. So we're just gonna have to spin the wheels. Normally it would be possible with the propeller suit to skip those two parts, but the second jump can be a bit tricky. So maybe it was a good thing I didn't get a propeller suit. This time at least I didn't die. Oh. There we go. Midway point. And then the final spin. We don't need that one. We can just jump over and then we go off to see not the final boss yet, but pretty close though, because it's not gonna be Bowser, but it's Bowser Jr. And of course he has his clown car, but you know, he doesn't like his little clown car anymore, so he's just gonna get into a big one and it's gonna drop big spike balls at us. And the trick is to actually reflect those back to him by ground pounding the ground to actually make them bounce up. And that first one is actually a pretty easy hit, since you can just hold right just a little bit and then do a ground pound. And usually if you just time when it's about to hit the ground, it will, like 90% of the time it will hit. Sometimes Bowser Jr. goes out of the way a lot. Now he'll drop an even bigger one, which makes it even easier to hit him. So there goes Bowser Jr. We defeated the final Guardian for the final Bowser Castle. And we can actually start saving Princess Peach. Because she was right here at this airship. But unfortunately there's Kamek, Bowser's loyal servant, and he takes her away one more time. Because he would... It looks like this is the end of the world, but there's this big wall over here which is gonna drop into the lava and reveal the final Bowser level in a huge castle. Really scary castle with spikes. So here we go into the final Bowser level, where it starts off with the first segment is just going is the non-auto-scroller part of this level, where there are a lot of these lava, these I forgot the name of them, these spinning things you see right now. And those are they start spinning once you get close to them, so you'll always get the same cycles when you just keep running towards them. Only if you start slowing down around them, then the cycle might get a little bit weird. But it should be good though. Like for this one, we actually have to wait just a little bit before we can run through. And then in the pipe here is going to be the auto-scroller part of this level, which is going to be these platforms falling down while the lava falls down as well. And we could jump on that platform with the dry bones on it, but that dry bones is gonna annoy us for a long part of this auto-scroller, so we're just gonna stay up here for a little bit and then drop down here so he won't fall down with us. So we don't like the dry bones. Now we can just start hitting the platforms, because now a lot start appearing and you don't need to be really careful anymore with staying on the platforms for a really long time and then jumping right when it happens. So after the third coin is when you can enter the pipe. And then we're off to the final Bowser fight. And like with any Bowser fight, there's always a hit power-up somewhere near the door, which will give us an extra hit, just in case. But before we can beat him, we have to run all the way to the right while avoiding the fireballs, which are completely random, in which order they spawn. So sometimes you get a really lucky pattern and you can just easily jump between them, but this time I actually had to slow down a little bit. So there we go. There's Bowser, and there's also Princess Peach in our cage. We just have to hit the button. And we gotta wait until Bowser jumps. There is a setup for actually jumping over him, but I'm just gonna play it a little bit more safe. Just so I have an extra hit for the next part. So there we go. We defeated Bowser. And he's gone. And look, we saved Princess Peach. Let's get her down. But she looks a little bit shorter than I remember. And it's weird. I have a feeling like, oh, we got fooled. It was comic all along. And now we're getting into the actual Bowser fight, where we're not actually gonna find him because he's way too big and too scary. So we're just gonna run away from him. But first off, he needs to clear off a path for us. So I'll be jumping here a little bit, so the fireballs will hopefully hit the walls. Like once they have gone through about, they hit a too thick wall, they explode. So you can manipulate it a little bit, like they can go through the ceiling a little bit. But if they just go too far out, they just will hit parts that you don't want them to hit. So that fireball should be able to get through, and then gonna head up, grab our good friend the propeller suit again, and we're gonna do the final part where we can just run a little bit faster. No. Let's go. We have to wait for this platform. You know, I've already wasted too much time. I'll just play it a little bit safe. The time is coming up very soon though, so get ready on time. It will be once I hit that button. Oh, there we go. Time. Still underestimate. Unfortunately, it isn't PP. PP is almost 6 minutes faster. Close enough. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the new Super Mario Bros. Wii run. Up next is gonna be Pokemon, the puzzle challenge. So be excited for that and enjoy the rest of the marathon.